Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Some of them will be here live. Some of this is a pre-recorded. But we're going to be sharing, having dialogue today. Vamos a tener diálogo hoy. Vamos a grabar. Hoy Shabbat, junio 17, is June 17th. The Shabbat. Rosh Chodesh is just around the corner. In the next couple of days, estos días, ya va a ser Rosh Chodesh, a new moon. But I wanted to, to discuss or talk for us about kind of like some scriptures, de unas escrituras quería platicar. But also something that I was meditating on the other day. Algo que estaba meditando. So let's go ahead and open to our scripture. Vamos a ir a la escritura en el libro de Hebrews, Hebreos, chapter 3. And this kind of goes, these scriptures, estos versos, van en línea con lecturas and números, also with verses in Numbers, in the book of Joshua, el libro de Josué, números, also in Psalms. But when you're there, cuando están ahí, le voy a pedir a José, I'll ask José to read in Spanish fuertemente, ¿verdad? En el libro de Hebreos, sí, por favor, in the book of Hebrews. Sí, ahí vamos a empezar. We're going to begin there. We're going to kind of read and vamos a leer y vamos a deshebrar. We're going to like unthread the word and see what he is talking to us. Because the word is past, present, and future. La palabra es pasado, presente y futuro. It is a perpetual word. Es una palabra viva, perpetua para siempre. Let's go ahead and pray. Vamos a orar. Padre, te damos gracias en este Shabbat, Padre. Te damos gracias por tu palabra. We give you thanks, Father, for this Shabbat. We give you thanks for your word, Father. We just ask that you be with each and every one of us, that we're able to be ministered to, que seamos ministrados, and to be able to minister to others. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, amén and amén. Aquí dice, vamos a leer el primer verso. Therefore, set apart brothers, partakers of the heavenly calling, closely consider the emissary and high priest of our confession, Messiah Yeshua.
Por lo tanto, hermanos que han sido apartados por Yahweh, los que comparten el llamado del cielo, piensen cuidadosamente acerca de Yeshua, a quien reconocemos públicamente como el emisario de Yahweh y Kohen Gadol.
Aquí estamos viendo que nos está hablando, he's talking about to the set apart brothers. Nos está hablando que es hermanos apartados. When you hear the word set apart, what is it? What do you understand by the word set apart? ¿Qué entienden por la palabra apartado? Que es apartado de todo lo demás, that we're set apart from everything else. Yes. And it is calling us here, nos está llamando que consideremos. The point here to consider the emissary, el emisario o el sheliach of sheliachs, que es el enviado, el apóstol de apóstoles, the apostle of apostles, Yeshua HaMashiach. To consider him. Verso 2, verse 2. Who has trustworthy to him who appointed him, as also Moshe in all his house.
Él es completamente fiel a Yahweh, quien lo designó, como también Moshe estuvo lleno de fidelidad en toda la casa de Yahweh.
Is saying here that he was trustworthy, que era fiel. In other words, what is to be faithful? ¿Qué es ser fiel or trustworthy? someone that you put to a task and they fulfill it. Lo ponen a hacer una obra a una persona. Sorry here, a little accident. ¿Verdad? Que somos fiel a hacer una obra, that we're faithful. Everything that we are put to do, everything that we do for Messiah, lo que hacemos por el Mesías, we should do it faithfully. Quiero que empecemos, las palabras que estamos hablando aquí, empiezan a meditarlas, begin to meditate it, because there's a point to the word that the word is trying to get us to. La palabra nos quiere llevar a esto. Okay? It says that also Moshe, que Moshe fue ¿quién? Fiel to the house, a la casa. A ver, ¿de qué casa está hablando? What house is he talking about? Okay, vamos a ver verso 3, verse 3. For this one has been deemed worthy of more esteem than Moshe, as much as he who builds the house enjoys more respect than the house.
Pero Yeshua merece más honor que Moshe, así como el constructor de la casa merece más honor que la casa.
The word here, la palabra nos está diciendo que a veces Moshe construyeron una casa. They constructed a house para que Yahweh ministrara a su pueblo. O sea, Yahweh be ministered, but so Yahweh should be worshipped. Para que Yahweh sea adorado. Pero como que a veces a Moshe lo ponían en el lugar más alto, a él. Pero aún es el Mashiach, the Messiah, which is higher. It's like if you build something or you accomplish something, the person that accomplishes in a sense is the one that should be lifted up. El que hace la obra debía de ser levantado. Pero a veces como alguien, así como dice, alguien construye una casa, you construct a house, and it's like, wow, this house is awesome, esta casa está maravillosa. Y a veces nos olvida, no preguntamos, or we don't ask, who built it? ¿Quién la construyó? O un carro, oh, este carro está bien bonito, this car is... So we put other things first. Ponemos otras cosas primero de lo que debe de ser primero. Okay? So so if any questions, but it's going to be more clear right now. Va a empezar a ser más claro. Ir a verso 4, verse 4. For every house is built by someone, but he who built all is Elohim.
Porque todas las cosas fueron construidas por alguien, pero el que construyó todo es Elohim.
So here is saying everything is built by someone. Todo es construido por alguien. Pero el que construyó todo, ¿quién es? Elohim. Elohim did it all. 5. And Moshe indeed was trustworthy in all his house as a servant, for a witness of what would be spoken later.
También Moshe fue completamente fiel en toda la casa de Yahweh como un siervo dando testimonio de lo que Yahweh habría de divulgar después.
But Messiah as a son over his own house, whose house we are, if we hold fast the boldness and boasting of the expectation firm to the end.
Pero el Mashiach como hijo fue completamente fiel sobre la casa de Yahweh, y nosotros somos esa casa de él, siempre que nos sujetemos firmemente al valor y confianza en él, inspirados por lo que aguardamos esperanzados.
So la casa que está siendo construida o es construida, house that is being built or is built is who? Us. We are the house. But what house do we praise sometimes? No te ves, we lift ourselves up, nos levantamos, and we exalt ourselves. Instead of exalting him with this house. En lugar de exaltarlo a él con esta casa. Why did he build a house on earth, a tabernacle, el lugar apartado? ¿Por qué él construyó el tabernáculo en el desierto? So we could worship Elohim, exactly. Para que Elohim sea adorado. But many times we begin to worship what? The created things. Las cosas creadas. Empezamos a adorar y a alabar. And we worship and praise the things that are created instead. So is that clear so far? ¿Está claro? So now look, what we're going to get into is one of the biggest sins. Because he makes note of it. Es uno de los pecados más grandes que aquí en la escritura lo aclara. Y Yahweh lo dice. What is it? Idolatry? No. Adultery? No. We're going to see right now. Now, 7. Therefore, as the set-apart Spirit says today, if you hear my voice,
por lo cual, como dice el Ruach HaKodesh, si oyes hoy la voz de Yahweh.
Okay, el 8. Do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion in the day of the trial in the wilderness.
No endurezcan sus corazones como hicieron en las aguas amargas en aquel día en el desierto cuando pusieron a Yahweh a prueba.
9. Where your fathers tried me, proved me, and saw my works 40 years.
Sí, sus padres me pusieron a prueba, ellos me retaron a pesar de que vieron mis obras por 40 años.
Therefore I was grieved with the generation and said, they always go astray in their heart, and they have not known my ways.
Por lo cual estuve enojado con esa generación. Yo dije, sus corazones siempre se están extraviando, no han entendido cómo yo hago las cosas.
As I swore in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest.
Escuchen, hermanos, que no haya en ninguno de ustedes un corazón maligno, falto de confianza en Yahshua, que los lleve a apostatar del Elohim viviente.
What we are talking here is the sin of apostasy, un pecado de apostasía que proviene de la rebelión, that comes from rebellion. When you do not believe, cuando tú no crees lo que Yahweh te ha dicho. Acuérdense que él le dijo, ya tenían 40 años en el desierto. They were already 40 years in the desert. They had seen the miracle after miracle. Han visto el milagro tras milagro. And I'm pretty sure in your life, you have seen him move in your life. ¿Lo han visto mover en su vida? ¿Sí o no? So entonces, cuando tú no crees la promesa, when you don't believe the promise that he has given, you are rebellious. Eres rebelde. Aquí fueron los espías. The spies went out to spy the land. They went one from each tribe. Cada uno de cada tribu. What did he tell them? Go look at the land. Ve a ver la tierra that I what? That I gave you. les voy a entregar, que va a ser de ustedes. Cuando vinieron para atrás, ¿qué hicieron? Dieron mal reporte. Hicieron un mal reporte. They gave a bad report. Dijeron que no, que había ¿qué? Gigantes. Excuse me. That there was giants. And that the land could not be conquered. Que no podía ser la tierra conquistada. And many of them, what did they say? ¿Qué dijeron muchos? I'm going back to Mitzrayim. Yo me voy a ir a Mitzrayim because it is tough out here. For those that came from California, los que vinieron de California, Texas, dicen, no, yo me voy a ir a California porque ya Texas está muy caliente. Texas is very hot, so I'm going back to California. Nice, beautiful, fresh weather. El aire fresco. Estamos mirando, lo digo esto como para que lo entiendan. I say it this way so you kind of see it how you could apply it to your life. ¿Cómo lo puedes aplicar a tu vida? Porque cuando tú vas a un lugar, when you go to a place and you say, I'm here because he's giving me a promise. Me ha dado una promesa. Pero algo interesante es que dice que no entraron en qué. They did not enter into what? Into rest. No entraron en reposo. What do we know as the word of rest? ¿Qué conocemos la palabra como reposo? To cease, to stop, el parar. You know, the other day I was meditating. Well, it was yesterday. Ayer estaba meditando y se me vino a la mente Noé. What did the word say about Noah? And he shall what? Give what? The land. Le iba a dar la tierra ¿qué? Rest. Reposo of its wickedness, de su maldad. What am I saying here? That there's a time, there's a window, hay una ventana. When the door closes, cuando la puerta se cierra. He told them the rain is coming, ahí viene la lluvia. Y cuando ya era el tiempo, ¿qué pasó con el arca? What happened in the ark? La puerta fue cerrada. So, Noah being, rest, siendo reposo, Noah. Cuando viene Shabbat, when Shabbat is coming, excuse me, la puerta se cierra. The door closes. And when does it close? Cuando cierra. Cuando baja el sol. Sorry. So we are to do what? Cease. Tenemos que entrar a reposo. We have to enter into rest. Excuse me. Kind of under the weather today. Un poco con catarro hoy. But I just want to say that we have to learn to enter into rest. So, think of it this way. Think Shabbat this way. When you get into the ark, te metes al arca, what do? Do you say, oh, estás dentro del arca? Oh, I think I need to go back out there. I didn't finish doing something.
Forgot to get my kettle.
No alcancé a agarrar algo. I didn't do this or I didn't do that. Are you going to leave the ark? ¿Te vas a ir del arca? We have to, you know, some people tell you that there's no more need for the rest or the Shabbats. Muchos te dicen que ya no hay tiempo para el Shabbat. You know that if you read from Numbers 13, si leemos de Números 13 hasta el capítulo 15 de Números to the chapter 15 of Numbers, it begins to talk about a man that was picking up wood sticks on Shabbat, que estaba levantando palos en Shabbat. And they arrested the man, lo arrestaron. I know some people say, oh no, you're being legalistic, estoy siendo legalístico. No. Lo arrestaron, they arrested him, and then they consulted with Yahweh, consultaron con Yahweh, what do we do with this man? They said, stone him, ya sáquenlo fuera de la ciudad y apedréenlo. Stone him to death for picking up sticks, por levantando palos. The thing is, and then right after that, in chapter 15, in capítulo 15, he begins to say, make tzitzits, que hagan tzitzits, para que se recuerden los mandamientos, to remember the commands. So it's like almost something got established because of the disobedience for you to remember. Para que no te olvide, algo es establecido. So, nos está hablando la palabra y nos está diciendo. And let's keep reading so you see what he's talking about. So he's talking about us giving esteem to him. A él lo adoremos. Verse 12, verso 12. Look out, brothers, lest there be in any of you a wicked heart of unbelief in falling away from the living Elohim. Sí.
Escuchen, hermanos, que no haya en ninguno de ustedes un corazón maligno, falto de confianza en Yeshua, que los lleve a apostatar del Elohim viviente.
See, what causes us to sin? ¿Qué nos causa que pequemos? Unbelief. Unbelief. That is one of the greater sins when we doubt. Cuando dudamos. Empiezas a dudar. He tells you something. He tells you to do something and you begin to doubt. Empiezas a dudar. Then what comes after the doubt? Complaining. ¿Qué viene después de la duda? La queja. Pues no, y ahí va. And we on and on and on. Nos estamos quejando. The bickering of the murmuring. El murmurando. So who are you murmuring against? ¿Contra quién estás murmurando? Yahweh. Oh. Second voice, we confirmed it. So cuando tú murmuras, estás murmurando contra él. Because he tells you something, and he speaks something in your life. The thing is, we forget, se nos olvida. Because we walk by what? Caminamos como?
The scripture says walk by faith.
Exactly, the scripture says walk by faith, not by what? Not by sight. Él te dice, camina por ese camino. He says, walk to that path. Oh no, man, but there's a lion there, there's this guy, enemies there, está el enemigo, está esto, but he's telling you to walk through there. Would you, when you tell your child, cross the road, cuando tú le dices a tu hijo, cruza la carretera, Y el niño ve tantas cosas que están pasando, a lot of things are happening. ¿Tú le vas a decir para que lo atropellen? Or you tell him so he can get run over? No. You're telling him because you know it's safe for him to cross. Tú sabes que él está seguro para cruzar. Pero dudamos. We doubt. You know, what did the word say about rebellion? It's the spirit of what?
Witchcraft.
Es hechicería, el espíritu de rebelión. It's witchcraft. That's why many believers practice witchcraft. Muchos creyentes practican hechicería. Because when you're murmuring, what are you doing? Estás con la boca, ¿verdad? You're what? Estás encantando como encantamiento, estás hablando cosas. You know, and that's what they do to cast spells. Echar hechicería, y tú estás haciendo lo mismo. You're doing the same thing. Our words have life or death in them. Nuestras palabras tienen vida o muerte en ella. But verse 13, but encourage one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened by the deceivableness of sin.
Más bien exhórtense el uno al otro todos los días, mientras este día se ha llamado hoy, para que ninguno de ustedes se endurezca por el engaño del pecado.
You know, when somebody says, oh, I'm going to exhort this brother, yo voy a exhortar a este hermano. Exhortar, the word exhort really means encourage, anima. So when I come to the brother and say, oh, you're sinning again, you're doing this, when are you going to listen? Estás pecando, ¿cuándo va a hacer caso? Gritándole de tal manera, de lugar de decirle, hermano, sé que estás mal. I know you're in wrong, but you need to get yourself up. Te tienes que levantar. You need to stop doing this. Necesitas que parar de hacer esto y caminar sobre la meta and walk to the goal. That means to exhort. El exhortar means to encourage. El animar. You know, but everybody thinks, oh, I exhorted that brother. How you exhorté a ese hermano? Yeah, basically, I whipped his back. Yeah. No, we encourage. You don't encourage. If somebody's down, kicking them doesn't encourage. To me, I don't get encouraged if I'm feeling down. Somebody's kicking me. That doesn't encourage me more.
So the spirit of witchcraft is unbelief is spirit of witchcraft.
Well, it leads you to that, yes. A rebellion.
Was it the same in the garden that got Eve to not?
She doubted. She didn't believe. You know, they started believing a lie. Look what it said there, what we just read. And believing and falling away. The Spirit's been operating since the garden. Ha estado operando el Espíritu desde el jardín. Te lleva a dudar, to doubt His word. What is he saying? Oh, did he say you can't touch it? Te dijo que no la puedes tocar. See, so instead of going by the word that he said, some people say, well, the word says this, but I'm not going to do it because I don't understand what it means. La palabra dice algo, no lo voy a hacer porque no lo entiendo. You know, the majority of a Jew, la mayoría de un judío, they do it whether they understand it or not. Lo hacen, lo entiendan or no. Why? Because Yahweh is saying to do it. It's like when the parents tells the kid, do this. Sometimes the kid, but why do I gotta do it? ¿Por qué lo tengo que hacer? You're doing it because your father knows why he's telling you to do it. Tu padre sabe por qué te está diciendo que lo hagas. You know, those are things that we need to, principles that we need to understand. Son principios que tenemos que entender. 14. For we have become partakers of Messiah if we hold fast to the beginning of our trust firm to the end.
Porque nos hemos convertido en participantes en el Mashiach siempre que nos sujetemos simplemente a la convicción con la que empezamos, esperanzamos hasta que la meta esté superada.
You know, we become partakers, so everything that Yeshua did, we become partake. Tomamos parte en lo que él hizo. His death and his resurrection, su muerte y su resurrección. Si hacemos, obedecemos. If we are obedient. 15. While it is said today, see, it always says today because tomorrow we don't know, mañana no sabemos. If you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion.
Ahora donde dice, hoy si oyes la voz de Yahweh, no endurezcan sus corazones como hicieron en las aguas amargas.
For who having heard rebelled? Was it not all who came out of Mizraim led by Moshe?
¿Quiénes eran las personas que después de haber oído pelearon tan amargamente todos los que Moshe sacó de Egipto?
In whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with those who sinned, whose corpse fell in the wilderness?
¿Y con quién estuvo Yahweh enojado por 40 años? Con aquellos que pecaron, si cayeron muertos en el desierto.
See, if you remember, they were 40 years in the desert till they got to where the promised land was going to be. Duraron 40 años para llegar donde iba a ser ya la tierra prometida. But because those 40 days, los 40 días dudaron, and de esos 40 días les dio un día por año, he gave 1 day per year to not wander in the desert and die, sino que se quedaran en el desierto y se morirían. I mean, isn't it something sad that you're about to reach or grab something? It's like here within your grasp. Está entre tu alcance, but because you rebel, it is gone for good. Se pierde para siempre. El 18. And to whom did he swear that those would not enter into his rest, but to those who did not obey?
¿Y a quién fue que él juró que no entrarían en su reposo aquellos que fueron desobedientes?
So we see that they were unable to enter in because of unbelief.
Por tanto, vean que no pudieron entrar en su reposo por falta de confianza en él.
You know, we struggle to enter into rest. Batallamos el entrar a reposo. I mean, it's why is it difficult to enter into rest? ¿Por qué es difícil entrar a reposo? And what I also mean, you see, I'm talking about Shabbat. Estoy hablando del Shabbat. Why, ask yourself that question. Why is it difficult for me to enter into Shabbat? And I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm saying. Estoy seguro que entiende lo que le estoy diciendo, ¿verdad? You know, it's the word rest. The thing is, it means cease. Quiere decir para. Stop. In other words, for you to understand, it's almost like me saying for 6 days. Look at this. Look at this real clear. For 6 days, you can eat of this on this side. Por 6 días puedes comer de esto. But for 1 day of the seventh, en el día séptimo, nomás puedes comer de esto. You can only eat of this. What did he tell Adam and Eve? Of all the trees in the garden, you could eat of. Puedes comer, pero de este no. See, there's something that is set apart, algo apartado. But each one of us every person struggles in an area in their life, en su vida, para entrar al Shabbat. But I think, I don't know if we could put we make a list of the top things that we struggle with on Shabbat, lo que batallamos en Shabbat. It might be our phones.
Yeah.
Quizás va a ser nuestros teléfonos. Because the phone is a phone, a television, a radio. See, they put it all, packaged it up. Se lo pusieron todo en un paquete. I'm not on the TV. I don't watch TV. But there you're on your television on your hand. Está la televisión en tu mano. Oh, no, I'm not playing video on the video game machine. No estoy jugando juegos en la computadora, on the computer. But you're playing them on your phone. Oh, I'm not on the store. I'm not going out to the stores. No estoy yendo a las tiendas. But there you are shopping on your phone. Ahí estás comprando en el teléfono. O mirando los especiales. There will always be a special. Todo el tiempo va a haber un especial. You're not missing out on any specials. No te estás perdiendo ni un especial. What you are missing out on, and I'm missing out on, is Shabbat. Eso sí estamos perdiendo el Shabbat. Why? Ask yourself the question, why do I struggle of letting go? And this is practice. Es práctica para la eternidad, for the eternity.
So you know how to live in the kingdom.
We've been programmed our lives. Okay.
Fuimos programados. And what does our phone does to us daily?
Programs.
It's programmed us, we're training us just to be on there. I mean, I will admit, I'm guilty that these quick little videos, you know why they do them like that? ¿Por qué lo hacen los videos así? They were showing about a child show that there's certain children cartoons, hay ciertas caricaturas para niños que son peligrosas. This psychologist was talking about, psicólogo está hablando, because they were like, they're too short. Tan cortita la caricatura, like in the cartoon, things move fast, se mueven rápido. The child's not given time to, what's that word? Analyze or develop the brain. And you're watching a clip, and they're saying something, boom, it cuts off, and then it goes to another one. Está el video, y de repente se apaga, para, y se va a otro. The video doesn't even finish. And there you are. And before you know, you watch 30 videos in a couple of minutes. 30 videos en unos minutos. I mean, I don't know if there's somebody here that can say, oh, I got no problem. That doesn't happen to me. Who's going to be the first? ¿Quién es el primero que va a decir que yo no? A mí no me pasa eso.
Me. That doesn't happen to you? It doesn't. Me, it happens to me.
No, who it doesn't happen to?
Everybody happens to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, so we need to take a deep breath. Tenemos que agarrar un aliento y decir, if that is, then I need to maybe turn it off. Necesito que apagarlo. You know, because it's destroying your life and it destroys my life. Y destruye tu vida y la mía. Because it's separating us. Instead of what we were beginning to read. ¿Para qué fue what is he constructing? ¿Qué está construyendo?
La casa.
The house. And who's supposed to be praised? ¿Qué debe ser adorado? The Master Yeshua, not the house. And on Shabbat, we're supposed to be praising Him. En Shabbat lo tenemos que estar honrando, enter into rest with Him.
So we gotta program ourselves to read this more, but paper.
If you don't read the scriptures all week, I mean, you should be reading it on Shabbat. And you know, I will tell you that you say, oh, I'm on my phone, I'm reading scriptures on my phone. You know, it's better to get the actual book. Es mejor agarrar el libro. Why? Because you're there reading the scriptures, then ding, 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 and then what happens? What do? Oh, what? Ooh, it just blew up right now. Acaba de explotar. And then there you are, and then, ooh, and then algo, y ya, then you forgot what you were doing.
I've been doing what you said last week, like
Reading it more often.
more often, and things have been improving. I've seen it.
Sí, Miguel está diciendo que está haciendo lo que dije la semana pasada, que leamos la escritura diariamente y está viendo el resultado y seeing the result. The thing is, you've all heard of the story, there's a white wolf and a black wolf. Or a gray wolf, I may say. I'm trying to remember. It's the wolf that you feed.
Yeah.
Al lobo que le das de comer is the one that gets stronger. So if you feed your spiritual life, your life is going to change. And your outlook towards life, lo que estás viendo en la vida va a cambiar. Your attitude is going to change. Tu actitud va a cambiar. But if we're not sustained, it's like when you eat food that's really doesn't give you nutrients, que no te da nutriente, you know, like Ricardo says, oh, I need something to nutrify me, you know, necesito que me haga nutrificar. Because that's, when you eat, it's like, I'll be honest, like when I'm working out in the heat, el calor, and I eat something heavy, I can't even work. No puedo ni trabajar. Pero el otro día que estaba caliente, the other day that was hot, I had like these, both days, like a salad, una ensalada. I was able to work comfortably. Pude trabajar confortable. So same thing spiritually. It affects yourself. Te afecta. Y nos está diciendo. Otherwise, look, we're going to be, look at 17 and 17. And with whom he was grieved. Well, and 17 is talking about it, that they sinned, and those who fell corpse with, let me read it. And with whom he grieved 40 years, was it not with those who sinned, whose corpse fell in the wilderness? Lea el 17 otra vez.
¿Y con quién estuvo Yahweh enojado por 40 años? Con aquellos que pecaron, sí cayeron muertos en el desierto.
See, we're going to fall dead in the desert. Vamos a caer muertos en el desierto if we do not change our ways. No cambiamos nuestra manera de vivir. Okay, let's keep going. We're almost done here. Ya me lo terminamos. Therefore, 4:1. Therefore, since a promise remains of entering into his rest, let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it.
Por lo tanto, estemos aterrorizados de la posibilidad de que, a pesar que la promesa de entrar en su reposo está en vigor, cualquiera de ustedes puede ser juzgado de haberse quedado corto en alcanzarlo.
So, he's telling us, nos está diciendo que aún todavía, it says, since a promise remains of entering into rest. Okay, weekly, cada semana, or in the times of the feast, los tiempos de la fiesta, entramos en reposo, we enter into rest, pero nos quiere llevar a un reposo, ¿qué? He wants to take us to a rest of what? An eternal rest. Un reposo eterno. Where we want to stop from all this chaos. Queremos parar de todo este caos del mundo. And we're going to close with this last verse here. Let's go to verse 9. Este verso es para los que creen que no necesitamos que practicar el Shabbat. This verse here will tell for those that believe that we don't have to honor the Sabbath. Look what it says, verso 9. So there remains a Sabbath keeping for the people of Elohim.
Por lo tanto, queda el guardar el Shabbat para el pueblo de Yahweh.
For the one who has entered into his rest has himself also rested from his works, as Elohim rested from his own.
Porque el que ha entrado en el reposo de Yahweh también ha reposado de sus propias obras, como Yahweh de las suyas.
Let us therefore do our utmost to enter into rest, lest anyone fall after the same example of disobedience. El 11.
De modo que pongamos todo nuestro empeño en entrar en ese reposo, para que nadie se quede corto por la misma clase de desobediencia.
And let's read 12. Vamos a leer 12. For the word of Elohim is living and working, and sharper than any two-edged sword, cutting through even to dividing of being, spirit, and of joint and marrow, and able to judge the thoughts and the intentions of the heart.
Miren, la palabra de Yahweh está viva, está obrando y es más afilada que una espada de dos filos. Corta aún a través de donde el alma se encuentra con el ruach y las coyunturas se encuentran con los tuétanos, y es rápida en juzgar las reflexiones internas y actitudes del corazón.
Now, isn't it interesting that many people use that word? Oh, the word is like a sword, double, two edges cutting. Que dicen, la palabra es una espada de dos filos. But they don't realize the context. No entienden el contexto el cual está hablando. Fíjense aquí donde dice, en el griego, in the Greek, in verse 9, the word is sabbatismos. The word used in the Greek there is sabbatismo, which means Sabbath keeping. Que quiere decir guardar los Shabbats. So you might say, oh, no, I don't need to keep Sabbath. Well, that's what it says there in the Greek.
Could you read that line as if I were saying that?
Well, yeah, I did read it. So there remains a Sabbath keeping for the people of Elohim. So if you are his people, there remains what? A Sabbath keeping. In other versions, it might say a different word, but let me tell you this. If you go to the Greek, it says sabbatismos, which is telling you continual Shabbats. Que te está hablando de continuos Shabbats. So, in the, I can't, I would have to open my thing here to see what the King James would say, but because many say, "Oh, it's the King James." Well, let me go there real quick, just so.
We can see.
So.
Where did you read that? Where it says Sabbath keeping?
On verse 9, 4:9, chapter 4, verse 9. Chapter 4, verse 9. Hebrews 4:9. Let's see. You see, this is why many times people miss it. Because this is what it reads in the King James Version, the New King James, the King James Version says, there remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. So, I challenge, es que dice que queda un reposo. I challenge my brethren, mis hermanos que usan, that read the King James. You see, it is our responsibility to see, es nuestra responsabilidad ver, o el que lee en el español la Reina Valera, or the one that reads la Reina Valera en español, in Spanish it's la Reina Valera, English a lot of people read the King James, but the word rest there in the Greek is sabbatismos. That's what it is, which means Sabbath rest, que es reposo de Shabbat. So it's saying we have therefore remaineth, therefore a rest, because we're still here on earth. Aquí estamos en la tierra. Once you and I pass from this earth, we enter into the eternal rest. Instead of us not to continually live in the rebellion, no seguir viviendo en la rebelión, sino entrar en reposo. Yo no te quiero meter en esclavitud. I don't want you to be in bondage. Como muchos dicen, oh, esa es la ley, that's the law. No, that's the word. Es la palabra. Yeshua is the whole Torah. Yeshua es toda la Torah. You can't say this, I don't want part of this. No quiero parte de esta parte de Yeshua. No. You either accept him completely, lo aceptas a él completamente. Viene él con todas las leyes. He comes with all the laws. Nada cambió. Nothing changed. So con eso, ahí no sé si hay preguntas, questions, o quedó claro, was it clear? Claro, so aquí les digo a los que están escuchando este video, estén en bendición, be in blessing for those listening to this video. Shabbat Shalom, we'll be uploading it. Amén.